What's the most awkward family misunderstanding you've ever experienced? I'm 17 years old, and my parents are what you'd call traditional. They've had my entire life planned out since I was born. College, career, marriage, grandkids, the whole package. The problem? I'm gay, and I haven't told them yet. Last month, my mom's best friend's daughter got engaged, which apparently triggered some kind of maternal wedding planning frenzy in my mother. She started dropping hints about my future wife and asking when I was going to settle down and give her grandchildren. I kept deflecting, but my parents took my evasiveness as shyness about dating girls, not as me being terrified to come out. That's when things got completely out of hand. Mom began showing me pictures of nice girls from church and asking if I thought any of them were marriage material. I'd just nod and say, maybe someday, to avoid the conversation. But then Dad got involved. Son, he said one evening, your mother and I have been talking. We think it's time you started thinking seriously about your future. You're almost 18, and we want to help you find a good Christian wife. I panicked and said the first thing that came to mind. I'm just focused on school right now. Apparently, that was the wrong answer. Within a week, my parents had set up a meeting with Pastor Williams to discuss preparing for marriage and had scheduled appointments with 3 different families who had eligible daughters. I was trapped in my own lie. Watching my parents plan a heterosexual future I definitely didn't want. The situation reached peak awkwardness when my mom announced she'd found the perfect girl for me, Rebecca Thompson, the pastor's niece who was visiting from out of state. She's 18, loves to cook, wants lots of children, and she's very interested in meeting you, Mom said excitedly. We've arranged a dinner date for this Saturday. I spent the entire week trying to figure out how to get out of this dinner without revealing the truth, but Saturday arrived, and there I was, sitting across from Rebecca Thompson in our dining room while our parents beamed at us like we were already engaged. Rebecca was actually really nice, which made everything worse. She was clearly as uncomfortable as I was, so my dad said cheerfully, Rebecca, tell us about your plans for the future. Well, she said sweetly, I'd love to be a stay-at-home mom someday and raise a big family. My mom practically swooned. Isn't that wonderful? And what about you, honey? She asked me. How many children would you like to have? I choked on my water. I haven't really thought about it. Oh, come on, Dad laughed. Every young man dreams about having sons to carry on the family name. Rebecca looked at me expectantly, and I realized I was supposed to say something romantic about our hypothetical future children. Yeah, kids are great, I managed weakly. The dinner continued with my parents basically planning our entire wedding while Rebecca and I sat there in mutual horror. They discussed venues, guest lists, and even suggested we could have the ceremony next summer. We could have the reception in the church hall, Mom suggested. And Rebecca, dear, what's your favorite color for bridesmaid dresses? Blue? Rebecca said, looking like she wanted to disappear. Perfect. Blue and white would be lovely. Very traditional. By dessert, my parents had essentially planned our entire wedding, honeymoon, and the first 5 years of our marriage. That's when Rebecca accidentally saved me. This has been lovely, she said politely, but I should mention that I'm actually planning to join a convent after college. I felt called to religious life since I was little. The room went completely silent. My parents stared at her in shock, then at me, then back at her. Convent? Mom whispered. Yes, I want to become a nun. I thought you knew that's why I'm not really interested in dating anyone. I could practically hear my parents' wedding plans crashing down around them. After Rebecca left, my parents sat me down for what they clearly thought would be a heart-to-heart about my disappointment. Son, Dad said gently, I know you're probably upset about Rebecca, but there are plenty of other nice girls out there. That's when I realized I couldn't keep this charade going any longer. Actually, I said, taking a deep breath, there's something I need to tell you both. I came out to them right there in our living room, surrounded by the remnants of their wedding planning magazines and venue brochures. The silence that followed was the longest 30 seconds of my life. Finally, Mom spoke up. So, no grandchildren? Well, maybe someday through adoption or surrogacy, I said hopefully. Dad looked at all the wedding planning materials scattered around the room and started laughing. We really went overboard, didn't we? He said.